Hello everyone, it's Jessica and I am participating in Scraptember 2023, and today's prompt is to do a monochromatic layout, which is one of my favorite things to do, and I feel like I don't do them often enough. So I'm going to create one today using a bunch of my kits, my leftover bits by Not Just for Boys Kit Club. So I'm starting this layout with a photo of my son. He's got a green shirt on, so I am going to pull in some greens and blacks just like in my photo. And I've started with it's kind of like a textured Cartabella background paper, and I'm going to use that on my background. I've matted my photo with some black cardstock, which I've distressed on the edges, and then I'm running a die by Ellie Studio through here. That's actually a little file folder that you're supposed to fold in half, I think, and use to tuck things into it, but I like to use them around my pictures like this as another layer. So I'm just going to trim the bottom off of that, and I'm just going to use it just like that. I decided I want to do a little bit of stamping in my background. It's something that I love to do on my layouts, but I find that I don't stamp enough on them, so I'm trying to do that more often. I've pulled out this little distress stamp by Tim Holtz. It's just a nice little set of a whole bunch of little distressed stamps, and I'm just stamping that across my page with some black archival ink. I wanted it to be nice and crisp, and I wanted it to show up really good on top of that green, so that's why I chose my black archival. And then I'm just pulling out another stamp set here with some grungy patterns, and this one is by Stampin' Up, and I think it's called Gorgeous Grunge if I remember right. So I'm just kind of rotating these stamps and throwing them in here. I'm going to cover a lot of this up, unfortunately, with all of my other things, but I just wanted that to kind of peek out around all of the elements that I'm going to place down. So I'm pulling out some 49 Market little bits here. I'm going to build my title from multiple pieces, so you'll see me grabbing a few different things here. I love this hello. It's green, so it goes with my monochromatic layouts. And when I do my monochromatic layouts, I don't include black and white. Those are kind of a given. Black, white, and craft paper too. So I don't think of those as a color. I just think of those as like in addition to. So those are just kind of something that I use on my monochromatic layouts just to keep one color, and then I usually pull in black, white, or craft. So I have this sticker sheet from a bunch of items that one of my scrappy friends sent to me recently, and I am pulling off that little tree branch there to use on this, and then some Pink Fresh Studio stickers I'm going to put down, and then I have all these little tags left over from one of my kits by Not Just for Boys, so I'm going to cut a couple of the green ones off. So I'm just trimming around them, and then I'm going to cut the middles out with my little hole punch. And then eventually, towards the end of the layout, then I will go ahead and add some twine in there. So I'm going to add probably black and white twine. So we'll see when I get to that, but I think it's at the very end. So I'm just going to use these to tuck in to the top of my photo, just to add a little bit more layering behind my photo. So I'm going to use 3 of them. And then later on, I do find another one that I want to use on this too. So I'm just trying to use up some of my stash, use the things that I have on hand here instead of ordering so much all the time, because I swear I have enough supplies for a lifetime and then some. So I need to like invite people over to my craft room and just tell them not to bring any supplies. They can just kind of go wild in my craft room and use my stuff. Just bring photos. And I think I would still have enough things to last a lifetime. So I'm tucking in this little chipboard by Pink Fresh Studio, and this came in another one of my kits from Not Just for Boys. It's pretty much everything I'm using is from one of those kits. So I'm just grabbing a bunch of those kits. I have like 5 or 6 of them sitting here on my desk, and I'm just grabbing little bits and pieces that have green and anything that'll match my layout and kind of go with this. My son he's a little bit wild at times, so my title is actually going to say Hello Wild Man, which is what I call him sometimes. And I know everyone says that the second child is usually the wild child. Mine is my first. This is my second born child in this photo, and he is wild, but my first is definitely the worst as far as that goes. He's crazy, but we love him, and he's absolutely great. So this is my son Otto here, and I started this by putting these letters by Pink Fresh down. These are some of my favorite alpha letters to use, but they really blended in with my photo, and I didn't like the way that it looked. So I ended up actually going back in and changing that later on. I actually left this sit for a day at some point. Here is where I stop. And I thought about it actually when I was trying to sleep. That's whenever I get a lot of my creative ideas, is when I'm trying to sleep. So like midnight, this idea came to me that I am going to change those letters. So I ended up pulling those letters back off whenever I went to work on it the next day, and I redo those. But for now, I am sticking that hello down, and I'll stick down the wild. I'm going to pull out some of these cute little puffy stars that came in one of the most recent kits from Not Just for Boys. I love them. I just haven't used them a lot yet. So here I'm pulling out 3 of them to use on this layout. They're just so stinking cute. I just love them. And then these 49 and Market ephemera packs are just jam-packed with goodies. So I pulled out a couple of those to add some wordy bits and phrases to my layout as well. And then here I'm just going to tuck a tag at the top, and this I think is when I come back the next day. So I have new ideas here. I decided to go back and cut this little half tag out. It's not a full one. It was at the bottom of the paper, so it's kind of cut off, but look at that. I'm going to hide it, and you'll never know that it wasn't a full tag. So I'm going to pull out some stamping here again and just add some stamping to the top there. Right in behind where those elements are going to lay. And then I actually go down and build some more on the bottom because I thought that it needed a little bit more peeking out. So I'm going to glue that little thing down because it was actually pulling up overnight. Whenever I came back to this, I saw that it had peeled away from the paper. So I just added a little bit of that Nuvo glue to it to make sure it sticks down. So I've got my tag down now, and I'm just continuing to build this. I've pulled out a stamp set by Pretty Pink Posh, I believe it is. And I'm just pulling out the star stamp that is in it, and I'm just going to stamp some cute little stars on this to go with my little puffy stars. I thought that would be a cute little way to add a little bit of interest and a little bit more to the stamping. And then I'll pull out a couple sequin mixes as well and add some sequins in here. But I'm going to pop some music in here so you don't have to watch me, or listen to me, rather. You can just watch. So, yeah, I'll pop some music in here, and then I will be back at the end with the finished layout. I'm back. I've added some pretty sequins here to my layouts, and here's the finished result. I will list the playlist down below. I believe there's a playlist for Scraptember, so I'm going to link that below for you so you can grab that and watch all the other people creating along with each and every day, which is just so wonderful. There's so much inspiration there, so make sure you check that out. And I thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this layout today. So I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.